This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Brennan likes fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans.
Welcome to Markin Out, Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. This is episode 762. Thank you for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll appreciate you even more if you give a 5-star rating to go with that 5-star frog splash. And make sure that you are already subscribed and downloading on all of the podcast platforms. But make sure you buy a t-shirt as well, prowrestlingtees.com/markinout. Give us a like on Facebook because that still matters. Give us a follow on Instagram at markinout11. Give us a follow on TikTok at markinout. Give us a follow on X at markinout. And you can follow me on Twitter and every social media platform at DavidPTDPT. You can follow Chris at CMSweeney85 on Instagram and Chris Weendog on X. And you can follow Brandon on all social media platforms at BTTG161. That being said, you are listening to the original and only Markin Out podcast. But, Brandon, how are you?
I am doing awesome as always. How about yourself?
I am doing just as awesome as always. How was your week?
It was all right. I had a very rare buy one get one coupon for Fogo de Chão. So I went with my mom and brother this week. Even though I don't ever need to go. I say that every time I go there. How do I not use that coupon though? Like you got to. That's a really good coupon. So, and like for the most part, I think their meats are super dry. It was no different this time.
I keep on telling you, you go on an evening, I'll go with you, or on a weekend, I'll go with you.
Evening and weekends are so much more money. Coupons like that are ridiculous to go for. Well, I mean, brunch is a lot less than an evening time, but
I mean, you're going to have a discounted rate anyways.
Yeah, but it's still like, why would you pay 80 something when you could pay 50 something for the same exact meal? Literally the same exact meal.
I'm not going to cut out of work early to go get lunch with you.
Well, I'm not asking you to do that now, am I?
So really my options are to go in the evening or the weekends.
Well, like I said, I don't need to go to Fogo. The cheese.
Well, I guess we got to go Fogo honey, yourself.
The cheese with honey is always the best part for me though. So
I agree with you with that.
And then
that's so good.
And then this time they had lentil soup, which I thought was good, but I don't need to eat lentils.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of lentil. Like Indian food, dal tadka is a go-to for me. So I'm sure that I would probably enjoy their lentil soup.
And then the chicken thigh that I liked from last time was good as well, but it was again just dry. That's mainly my week. How about yours?
Got to see The Conjuring. Went to the movies, and it was good. It was a good weekend. We went to also a dumpling place, which was really good, really delicious. I forgot the name of it. I took one of their business cards because I was going to forget it either, as I have right now. But, yeah, good food all around.
Before we do move on, I wanted to make mention of the unfortunate passing of Jaka. He was one of the most charismatic pro wrestlers that you'll ever see. And he made his mark on pro wrestling in companies like Evolve, Beyond, and Chikara, a few others. He was part of Team Pazuzu with Chris Dickinson, Santana Ortiz, Pinky Sanchez, Larry Legend. He and Chris Dickinson held the Evolve Tag Team Championships and even showed up at a WrestleMania 34 Access and defeated Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, which was, at that time, stuff like that. We had the WWE relationship with Evolve, so it was happening where WWE would show up at Evolve, but it was just a crazy thing to see at that time. Especially being defended, having those championships defended at a WrestleMania Access. So go out and look up videos on YouTube of Jaka. Our condolences to his family, his friends, and all the fans. Seriously, go and watch video footage of him because he was very, very, like, he was the perfect package for pro wrestling. So it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very sad.
So, like I said, watch videos for him. Going to move over to WWE, talk about Monday Night Raw, which opened up with the Usos. Jey Uso came out first, and then Jimmy met him in the crowd. I don't know why they didn't use the Usos theme song. Is it just because they wanted to have the Jey Uso entrance?
Yeah, of course.
It's not just me-us. Like, it's literally not. And the Usos theme song prior to splitting was the Jey Uso theme song, but it wasn't. It's just me-us. I don't know why they didn't do that. It made no sense to me. But Jey addressed.
I don't know. I agree with the decision.
It just makes no sense. Jey addressed the Vision though, and then the Vision came out. They went back and forth. I popped at Jimmy Uso bringing up J&J Security and saying that Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker look more like PB J&J Security. I thought that was really funny. Or PB and J&J Security. I forget what the exact line was, but I thought it was a good line. But it leads to Wrestlepalooza. It sets up a tag team match. And the Usos wanted to fight on Monday Night Raw. Bronson Reed said no. And then LA Knight showed up, attacked them. The Usos let it happen. They weren't jumping in at first. And then the Usos dove onto the Vision. They eventually brawled. And that was the end of that segment.
Yeah.
It was a good opening.
Good way to get the crowd pumped up, though.
I mean, I guess maybe they'll save the Usos theme for Wrestlepalooza.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we'll put a pin in that.
It's possible.
First match of Monday Night Raw saw AJ Styles pick up the victory over El Grande Americano. This AJ Styles attacked El Grande Americano before the match began, which, by the way, they Def Rebelled a Def Rebel theme. El Grande Americano has I would say it's a very Def Rebel theme. I don't like this new theme of his.
Mm-hmm.
Another Americano showed up and got involved multiple times, but AJ Styles eventually rolled through a pin into a Styles Clash after Dragon Lee showed up. And honestly, that closing sequence between AJ Styles and El Grande Americano was very well done. I
thought that this was a really great match. I really liked that closing, especially going right into that Styles Clash.
Yeah.
AJ Styles is one of the best out there.
And then AJ Styles thanked Dragon Lee later for having his back. And Finn Balor ended up questioning Dominic Mysterio about his friendship with El Grande Americano. And Dom was like, don't worry about it. But the big topic from that AJ Styles El Grande Americano match was the segment that did not air for the United States. It was international only. A promo that everyone was like, AJ Styles went off script. And WWE posted it. Like, come on. How, like...
yes, because...
like, they wouldn't cut his microphone?
Just like what Brandon me mentioned, they aired it. They showed it. Did they splice it anywhere else or show it anywhere else?
Well, they posted
WWE.
it to the internet.
What do you mean they posted it to the internet?
Like WWE posted it to the internet.
Okay, so WWE like tweeted it out?
Yeah. But he went off script.
It's not even like it's not even like the commercial, like during the commercial break or whatever of the international feed. They actually tweeted it out there. I mean, I don't know what else. How does it not smell like a work?
But he mentioned the Good Brothers. How is it a shoot? I mean, how is it not a shoot?
Oh God, I hate IWC. I could go on a rant right now.
Well, I think some of the IWC has that attitude where it's like, oh, another work shoot, great.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
I honestly enjoyed the promo.
I thought it was a good promo.
And not once did
Why
I think,
can't we
oh
see
my
that
God,
side
he's
of
going off script.
And why can't we see that side of AJ Styles? Why can't we?
But I don't.
What's
Well, so that the whole promo was, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have anybody have my back. And that's where Dragon Lee came into it. And that's why AJ Styles thanked Dragon Lee, because he's like, I didn't think I was going to have anybody. So I don't know if we're going to see some sort of tag team. We're going to see AJ Lee form as a tag team. I don't know.
I mean, we saw the tweets and everything.
With AJ,
So-
with CM Punk, yeah.
Exactly, with CM Punk and Dragon Lee and AJ.
It's very possible. I mean, why would you not want, you capitalize on AJ Lee's return? You can make even more AJ Lee merch for a tag team named AJ Lee.
Yeah,
Why not?
crazy. I agree with you. But next up, we had Raquel Rodriguez pick up the victory over Lyra Valkyria. Raquel Rodriguez, her hard-hitting and power just got the win over Lyra. I thought it was weird, the setup of the end, though. You know, you had Lyra Valkyria on the top of the rope and everything like that, and to me, it looked like she gave Raquel Rodriguez her leg for the move instead of, like, kicking her.
I don't
It just,
think so.
I don't know.
There was a lot of good stuff in this match. Like, I think Raquel controlled a lot of this, but so many, like that modified Boston Crab submission, I don't even know what to call it. I thought that was awesome. And then Lyra Valkyria, at one point when she was upside down trying to hit that power bomb from the middle rope, I thought that was dope. And then she like hoisted herself back up to eventually get that momentum to actually hit the power bomb. And then we saw Roxanne Perez get involved, which Lyra took her out. And then Raquel, the ending was her ripping Lyra off of the rope to hit the Tejana bomb. And I thought that was a dope spot.
It was...
Maybe in my head, I didn't
was
I watched it live. I didn't rewatch it again. But
It was a very cool spot, though.
yeah,
It was a very cool spot.
And then we had
You know?
another Bailey vignette, and she spoke about not wanting to hurt Lyra, and heel Bailey was like, screw that, move on. And then face Bailey was like, you have to make it right. So I think we'll probably see, I hope we'll see Bailey next week. I'm not sure, but I hope.
It's very possible.
After that, you had AJ Lee come out with the Intercontinental Championship. Not once did I think she would come out with the Intercontinental Championship, but I thought that was a nice touch because she did, I guess she left with it after SmackDown. So I like that. First of all,
Yeah.
you weren't here for her return. Immediate reaction?
No. I popped for it, you know. I actually was glued to the TV when it happened. I was just like, okay, this is something that's going to be really awesome. It's something special. I wish that the crowd chanted a welcome back chant that on that segment, though. On the return, I wish that they had a welcome back chant.
I feel like maybe they were
we
just...
did get a welcome back
there
chant.
was action after action in that segment, though, so...
It was.
And I think there was a welcome
really no
back
dull point.
after SmackDown ended. Mm-hmm. But this, on Monday Night Raw, she reintroduced herself to people who may not know her. They aired a video package as well, which was very well done. And then she got to Becky Lynch and said that they could have been friends, but she put her hands on CM Punk. And then Becky Lynch came out, yelled about the Intercontinental Championship, and AJ challenged her to come get it. And then she brought Seth Rollins out, and he told AJ Lee to give the championship back, basically kind of threatening her. And AJ countered, get it yourself. Risk another black eye. I guess during the fight on SmackDown, she accidentally clocked Becky Lynch. Becky had a quite the shiner there. And she said she'll give Becky Lynch the championship back if she agrees to a tag team match. That sets up Wrestlepalooza. Seth Rollins got into the ring. She went face-to-face with him, and then CM Punk showed up, went for that GTS, and he escaped, and then Seth agreed for the match. So, yeah, that's a big match.
I did love the promo from... Yeah, I did love the promo from AJ, though.
Yeah, she had people chanting for therapy.
Yeah, it was such a emotional promo that she gave, just like very direct, she said exactly, she reintroduced herself to people that may not know her or may have forgotten her. She introduced herself. She said where she was working on herself, and she put over the importance of therapy, and the crowd started chanting therapy. And I thought that's just powerful, to have an entire crowd chanting for therapy, which 10 years ago, 15 years, 20 years ago was something frowned upon at times. So I think that it was just an awesome reintroduction to AJ Lee for WWE Universe.
The segment was super long, but I thought very entertaining. So I wasn't like upset or anything with how long this went. Mm-hmm. Do you think should this main event Wrestlepalooza?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Why wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, there's John Cena versus Brock Lesnar for one. I don't know if... To me, I would rather see this as the main event.
It's tough. I don't know. It's going to be one of those two matches. I kind of feel like Brock Lesnar, John Cena is the close.
I don't think it needs to be.
No? I agree with you. I don't think it needs to be either.
After that, we saw Rusev pick up the victory over Penta. Both of them were upset with Adam Pearce for not booking them in title matches. So Adam Pearce booked this. You had New Gday eventually come out, and like Roxanne Perez with Lyra, Penta took them out at first, I guess, because obviously the end, when Penta went for the Destroyer, Xavier Woods got involved, and Rusev ends up hitting Penta with the Machka kick mid-air. I thought that was a very good Machka kick there to get that victory.
Yeah, I think that Rusev's very impressive. I think that both of us have been fans of his for even pre-AEW for a long time. It's like Rusev has
I would just say NXT.
Yeah, back in NXT. I mean, when he was carrying those boards, back in the day where he was carrying the 2x4s and breaking those and everything like that. The guy, I feel like he still has so much untapped potential.
I can't believe you said pre-AEW.
Yeah.
We saw Asuka pick up the victory over Nikki Bella, which stemmed from a backstage segment. Stephanie Vaquer could not be at Monday Night Raw for some reason, and the contract signing, it was either pushed or canceled. I'm not 100% sure on that, but Nikki spoke to Io Sky, and Asuka got pissed. This match, to me, I think this was Nikki Bella proving something to the IWC. And I know the IWC isn't going to watch or care because they're the IWC, but I thought this was so well done from both of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was good and everything like that. I'm glad that Asuka picked up the victory, and I'm glad that she picked it up with the Asuka. No, what'd she win with?
The Asuka lock.
It was the Asuka lock.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that maybe she shifted it over to a different submission hold, but
no,
yeah, she won with the Asuka lock, and yeah, she tapped her out. I was very happy with that.
I liked when Asuka used Kairi as a shield at one point, which allowed for her to kick Nikki Bella, but I don't know. I wonder if that's going to come into play at all. Because also with that segment
Kairi
backstage with Asuka yelling, every single time she yells off camera at Kairi and Kairi sells getting scared, I think it's one of the funniest things on TV. But I wonder if that's going to eventually lead to Kairi maybe like choosing Io over Asuka.
I think so. I mean, I think Asuka posted it the other day too, with her just yelling for her backstage, and it's just hilarious.
Which, like, that
Kairi!
her getting scared is just so funny. But later on,
yeah, every time she yells her name,
yeah,
it's hilarious.
But Asuka told Nikki Bella to tell Stephanie Vicaire that what happened to her is what Io will do to Stephanie. And then they got into a spat, and Rhea Ripley showed up. That's actually after the fact. That's when she ended up yelling at Kairi. But main event saw Bronson Reed pick up the victory over LA Knight. Jimmy tried to get Jay to stay and help against the Vision. And Jay was like, why would I do that? And he also spoke to LA Knight, and LA Knight said that there's no we in this fight, really kind of leaving LA Knight on his own there. This match, I liked LA Knight sidestepping Bronson Reed and sending him into the ring post, and then following that up, sending him into the steps. I feel like that's something we don't see often. Braun Breaker got involved. LA Knight was able to continue, and he ended up throwing Bronson Reed over the barricade, running from the commentary table to the barricade where the timekeeper is, just to jump onto Bronson Reed. Ultimately, this match was pretty even, but Braun Breaker got involved again, and Bronson Reed hit that jagged edge to get the victory. And then afterwards, Braun Breaker attacked LA Knight. Jimmy tried to make the save. Braun Breaker speared him, took him down, and then Jey Uso showed up. And it was good at first, but then Braun Breaker hit him with the spear. And he stacked up the Usos for a tsunami, and LA Knight got back into it, saved them with a chair. LA Knight and Jimmy shook hands, and then what did Jey do? He speared LA Knight, which to me, that was unexpected. I didn't like it.
Questionable call.
I didn't like it.
Jay
sees it as getting even for what happened to him earlier with Bronson Reed, where LA Knight sidestepped it and he got squashed, but I don't, that doesn't scream.
I mean, I think we're bound to get a turn, no?
I don't know, that's what it seemed like, and that doesn't, like, that just didn't scream main event Jey Uso to me.
So, but the thing is, I don't think we're going to get that sort of a turn. I think the turn is going to be LA Knight turning and joining the
that's
division.
Also very possible as well.
That's what I think. I think that this is all leading up to LA Knight actually being the one to turn and align himself with Seth Rollins.
But if he does get into the division, he needs a championship. That group right now is sitting there. It's just Seth with the title. They need titles.
I mean, if you think about it, like, what would be interesting is who was Seth Rollins in the matchup when he blew out his knee?
Right.
LA Knight. What happens this entire time they cycle back around and they be like, yeah, LA Knight was in on it the entire time?
I don't want to hear that. That's dumb to me.
Could.
That would be dumb because he's fighting Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, so.
Yeah. True.
Moving over to NXT, which kicked off with Javon Evans calling out Josh Briggs. Briggs ran out. Javon dove right onto him. And then Ava yelled at them. It turned into the match. I think this was supposed to happen later on, but it opened the show. Josh Briggs picks up the victory over Javon Evans. Action-packed. Josh Briggs had a lot of big guy moves, but he moves very light on his feet at times.
He's so good.
I liked the commentary table spot where Javon reversed the chokeslam and then jumped to the apron and then went into the ring to do a suicide dive. I guess technically you could say onto the commentary table.
Mm-hmm.
The chair spot I thought was interesting where Josh Briggs got a chair and the referee tried to get it from him and then Javon kicked it out of his hand. And then he went for a springboard. Josh Briggs, boom, swatted him down. Got the victory off of that. I don't know if that chair spot was necessary to get that springboard spot, but I don't know who that was for. But it was a good finish there for Josh Briggs.
It was a good finish. I think that Josh Briggs has great potential, and we've been watching him since his Evolve days. And I think that it's only a matter of time. I think that the big moves that he lands, especially that lariat and everything, and I think there's going to be a lot of happenings with him. Championship future.
After that, we had DIY come out, and Johnny Gargano gave the whole spiel that they're NXT for life. Trick Williams interrupted and got and said that DIY got the better of him because it was 2-on-1. And they're jealous because their NXT crew can't hang with his NXT crew. And then he brought out Carmelo Hayes, and Melo turned his attention to Trick, put DIY over, not something Trick was expecting. And he told Trick that Trick is squatting in their house. And then Tommaso Ciampa started trash-talking Carmelo Hayes, and I don't know why he did that. But it sets up a match for homecoming.
What I don't understand is why they're side by side. I mean, they kind of made reference to it with Ciampa and Gargano having one of the biggest heel turns. But last time we saw Hayes and Trick, they were not on the same page.
Well, that's the whole thing. Was in that segment we saw Carmelo Hayes where it looked like Trick thought Melo would be on his side, and Melo was like, "Bro, you're in their house. Like, this is not it, basically." But now we are going to see them on the same team because Tommaso Ciampa trash-talked to Carmelo Hayes. So it's funny because on SmackDown, all three of them are heels. NXT DIY is a clear face team in this scenario. Carmelo Hayes was also a face, but now they're ultimately 4 heels in the same match. Kind of faces, kind of not. I'm looking forward to Homecoming. I'll say that.
I think it's going to be very good.
After that, you had Laney Reed pick up the victory over Fabi Apache to advance in that speed tournament. I was hoping to see Fabi move on, but Natalya was watching from the crowd, and she hopped the barricade and cost the match for Fabi Apache with a distraction, and I should have seen that coming. They have a match at Worlds Collide.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely should have seen that coming.
Be...
They had a lot of good pin attempts in this match, though. So people can talk all the trash they want about Speed. I think Speed has given us some pretty good matches, and I'm enjoying these Speed matches that we're getting so far on NXT.
Yeah. Next up, you had Dark State pick up the victory over Hank and Tank to retain their NXT Tag Team Championships. Dark State, they're holding on to those titles. They had a brutal beatdown on Hank and Tank, but yeah, post-match was the big
This was all chaos, this whole match.
Yeah.
They did do a good job at making it look like Hank and Tank would maybe win the titles back, but Cutler James, at one point even, he was like, I forget who he was talking to, but he's like, Joe Hendry's not even going to be here, which triggered, obviously, Joe Hendry to come out, a la Kool-Aid Man, pop through the... Well, I don't even know what you call it.
That was incredible. Once he said, Joe Hendry's not here, Joe Hendry can't save you, and then you just hear his theme song, and he just plows right through that stand. And it seemed incredible.
It seemed like Hank had the match won, but the referee was distracted with Joe Hendry, and Osiris ends up flipping the pin in Dion's favor to have Dark State retain the titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next
should Hank and Tank get another match there?
No, that's it. They lost.
But...
Done. I like the way that it ended too. I really liked the way that it ended. I thought it was a good ending where you thought that with everything happening with Joe Hendry that Hank and Tank was going to pick up the victory, but no, right at the very end, Dark State. Next up, you had Tavian Heights pick up the victory over Ethan Page in a flag match. I don't even remember the last time we had a flag match. One side USA, one side Canada.
I forget they said it too. I don't know if it was like 2017 or something. I'm not sure, and this is not a knock on either person in this match. I don't think I need to see another flag match anytime soon.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for me. I like the screen setup to show which side of the ring the flags were on in case you couldn't see the flag on the TV at the time. I thought that was a unique thing to have for the NXT crowd. And also at least the fans chanted USA this time. If this took place the other few weeks ago, they were chanting for Canada for Ethan Page and Chelsea.
True.
But the aftermath was probably the bigger picture, which it was very random. Tyler Breeze showed up and laid next to Ethan Page. And then that got set up as a North American Championship match for Homecoming. I popped to see Tyler Breeze, but that was very random.
The Tyler Breeze I didn't understand.
Like there was no
I guess
there was no he didn't cut a promo or anything. There was just no reason why it happened. There was no setup. I don't think there was any setup. From my memory, there was nothing at all that would have triggered a Tyler Breeze Ethan Page sort of match.
Exactly. It just didn't make sense. It seemed like it was forced at the end just to have him appear on their show the next week. It was just like, we're just going to have him go out there so this way he could set up a random match next week.
I will say,
though,
weird. It's great to see Tyler Breeze back with that sort of look. The last time we saw him as a wrestler, I guess, he had the short black hair, the beard. I'm almost certain he had a beard. So at least we get that classic setup. And I like the backstage interaction that he had with Stevie Turner and Robbie E. Or Mr. Stone, I should say. I thought that was really funny, where she was like a giant mark for Tyler Breeze, and she's like, August 22nd, 2015, Jushin Liger. She just wanted a picture.
Yeah.
So, main event saw the Culling pick up the victory over Zaruka and Fatal Influence in an elimination tag team match to become number one contenders for those tag team championships. You had Nico Vance and Sean Spears get involved, but they both got taken out at one point by Fallon Henley and Zarya. This match, like the Dark State match, was just chaos as well. Very action-packed. And I think they all killed it in this match. I don't think they get enough credit for their women's division at all.
No. I think that this matchup was a lot of fun. I think that they do get a good amount of credit. You don't think so?
I don't think they do. We'll give them credit. I don't think people that I would label IWC gives them credit.
Okay, that I could get behind, because I think that a majority of people do give them credit, but I think that the IWC shockingly is in denial and doesn't give them credit. So, yeah.
The elimination for Zaruka in this match, I don't know how I feel, because Sol Ruka hit the Soul Snatcher. She was meaning to hit Tatum. I don't understand.
Bad aim.
I don't remember Tatum pushing Zarya or anything.
I feel like she may have given her a shove to move her into it, but on the other hand, Sol Ruka doesn't look at whoever she's about to go for. It's tough 100%. When she's midair. So, it's definitely plausible that she legit didn't see the shift of who was behind her when she went for the move.
And my pick to win was Zaruka. So I can
totally go either way.
I thought for sure we were going to see Zaruka versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, but not the case. JC Jane at one point, she clocked Tatum Paxley, and Tatum Paxley was still able to kick out. And at that point, between those two teams, I really could not tell who was going to win this. I like that double team move that the Calling did. And ultimately, they got the better, I would say, maybe, of Fatal Influence.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the match, JC yelled at Fatal Influence. 2 SUVs pulled up, and they cut to commercial break. It didn't seem like it was eventually going to be that same segment. And they came back from commercial. JC Jane's talking. She's like, there's no way that we're not going to be part of Homecoming. And she ran her mouth about being the greatest. And I really thought Mandy Rose was about to return right there.
Oh, man, that would have been awesome.
But Stephanie Vaquer showed up instead.
Which is still incredible.
Really don't understand why she couldn't have been at Monday Night Raw, but she was there. That didn't make sense to me, but she showed up. JC then said that there's one of her and 3 of them. Then Tiffany Stratton showed up, the SmackDown champion.
And I love the way that she called her out there. She was just like, do you know what time it is?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what time it is? And of course, the crowd started to pick up on it. And then it's Tiffy time hits.
And then Rhea Ripley showed up. It sets up a 6-woman tag match for Homecoming. It's a tad bit too soon, maybe, perhaps, for Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton for a show called Homecoming, in my opinion. More so for Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, she was still in NXT this year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like...
I don't know. I
but
think
this
that is
match,
okay.
man, I'm so pumped for... Homecoming seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, like a WrestleMania of NXT TV almost, with the matches that are happening. So I'm looking forward to, like I said before, I'm looking forward to Homecoming, and I have to assume there's going to be other surprises. The commercial made it seem like there's going to be like wild surprises. I don't know what...
I think that there's going to be big names.
Like, if you, like, what kind of surprise there's, like, if you want to surprise me big time with, in relation to NXT history, you're going to have to give me, like, an Adam Cole person. Like, I don't know, which isn't possible.
Imagine they bring back, oh man, what's his face? Why am I, the Rosebuds?
I tweeted out
Adam
that
Rose?
Homecoming needs Adam Rose.
Like, talk about, like, so underrated for what he was. All we wanted was his hunter gimmick or whatever it was, and we didn't get it. Yeah, we almost had it, but we never got it.
Nope. And then
You know?
also,
I would
of
mark
course,
for that.
No Way Jose could be an option as well, but
I wouldn't mark out for No Way Jose as much.
Really?
Adam Rose for sure.
well, Adam Rose, yeah,
I would mark out for any of the Undisputed Era.
But again, all all 3 of them at least are. The only one not in AEW is Bobby Fish. But if they have,
And that's the one of the 3 that you don't want to.
it would be really funny if like shock the system, and then it is Bobby Fish. I would still mark out for that though. I really would.
He's the one of the 3 of the group that you really don't want there.
There were 4. Well, technically 5, but
yeah, the 4 of them.
but not on air was 5.
Wait, who's the 5th?
Kathy Kelly with an asterisk.
Oh, I don't count that.
It wasn't. It was never like on air or anything. It was just backstage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's an asterisk. When they get inducted to the Hall of Fame, I don't think, or if they do, I don't think Kathy Kelly would or should be inducted with them. But I don't know. They ran NXT, so I would 100% mark out to hear that theme song again.
Yeah, but it has to be all of them together. Now it's not the time.
I don't know who else. Like, I mean, you could have Kurt Hawkins, Brian Myers. He's in the TNA relation to WWE right now. Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
They all wrestled not really Full Sail, but they did. Matt was with the Hype Bros. Hawkins was always there, I think.
I don't know.
I don't know who else would be like a huge name to have. They showed Triple H. They showed William Regal in the video package to hype it up. I don't know. I mean, the only other person, really, ultimately, I think, is like Paige.
That's a good one, actually.
Like that's
a very good one.
Like if you're telling me plus surprises or something like that, there's such a limited amount of names that you could have. So
No, I think that you listing her is a great option.
So that is NXT. Moving over to SmackDown. I popped big time for Booker T and Vic Joseph on commentary for SmackDown. But it opened up with Brock Lesnar, and before anything could happen, R-Truth came out. He welcomed Brock Lesnar back after Brock told him to shut up. He also said that he used to be scared of Brock, but he's not scared anymore. And then Brock said he didn't know who R-Truth was, and he better have a good reason for interrupting him. And then R-Truth brought up John Cena. Brock Lesnar said he's looking for John Cena. And they went back and forth. It was a somewhat funny segment, but R-Truth ate an F5. Brock Lesnar split his pants. I liked the video that they had for John Cena and Brock Lesnar later on, but if you ask me to name 100 matches that I'd want to see on John Cena's retirement tour, this is not it. I could not care less about this match. First match on SmackDown saw Sami Zayn pick up the victory over Fenix to retain the United States Championship. I think it was dope seeing Rey Fenix have a match like this. It's for the United States Championship. It's a U.S. Open challenge, and the match itself was pretty even. I actually thought when Sami Zayn hit that first Helluva Kick, that would be it. Or went for the first Helluva Kick, I should say. And then Fenix ended up moving out of the way from that. There were too many commercials during this match, but I liked the kick out after the Blue Thunder Bomb from Phoenix. He reversed a second Helluva attempt, and Sami eventually hit the Helluva Kick to get the victory. But I think these open challenges can be huge for Sami Zayn if they continue like this. There was a promo, a vignette or so for Solo talking about the U.S. Championship as well. I really hope we get a lengthy U.S. title run out of Sami Zayn and we get these awesome open challenges. Julia versus B-Fab did not actually happen. It stemmed from last week with Mia Yim, but B-Fab attacked Kiana James before the bell. Julia attacked her, and Kiana James joined in. Mia Yim ran out with a kendo stick. Julia left. So I'm sure we'll see that again or something. After that, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill ended up in a double countout. I thought they had a good match. Not quite their SummerSlam match, but I still enjoyed it. Jade Cargill stopped the first prettiest moonsault ever, and then she rolled out of the way out of a second attempt. And they ended up fighting on the ring apron. They fought outside the ring. Jade speared Tiffany Stratton through the barricade. And I honestly thought this match was going to end in a DQ. But Tiffany Stratton ends up retaining the championship because they were both counted out. Nia Jax showed up and attacked Jade Cargill. She attacked Tiffany Stratton. So SmackDown, for the most part, SmackDown moved pretty quickly this week. And in the main event, we saw Drew McIntyre pick up the victory over Randy Orton. I honestly didn't need to see this match, but Drew McIntyre worked on Randy Orton's knee throughout the match. Orton, towards the end, went for a punt, and the referee stopped it. I don't know how I feel about that. And Drew McIntyre ends up throwing Randy Orton towards the referee. The referee didn't get hit, but Randy Orton, that distracted him enough for him to turn around, eat another Claymore. McIntyre picks up the win. He continued the attack, and he went to hit a Claymore into the commentary table like he did to Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes ran down to make the save, and it sets up the match for Wrestlepalooza. So that's SmackDown. Gonna take a quick little break, and I'll be right back here on Markin Out.
This is the voice of the people, Larry Legend, and you're listening to Markin Out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out, episode 762. Moving back to AEW Collision from last week. It kicked off with Jon Moxley picking up the victory over Daniel Garcia. Both of them have been so boring, So I could not get into this match. Jon Moxley reversed a pin to win. Garcia was interviewed afterwards, and he snapped. He said he has nothing to show for losing, and sometimes good isn't good enough. I will put a pin in that. He had Big Bill randomly call out Eddie Kingston. I don't know if Eddie Kingston is coming back anytime soon or what. I feel like that is a very weird thing to have on TV without having Eddie Kingston there. You had FTR pick up the victory over Adam Priest and Tommy Billington. I just know that FTR must have had such a blast having this match, loved having this match. I think Billington was really fun to watch in this. I don't know why he's not used on TV more. He's on Collision again. This is another rematch, which is weird. I don't know why they're doing this match again, but they're doing it again on Collision, so I'll speak about that next week. But Dax locked Priest in a submission after the match. Billington broke it up. After that, Harley Cameron, Chris Statlander, Mina Shirakawa, and Toni Storm picked up the victory over Megan Bayne and the Triangle of Madness. I really need these random matches to stop. If you want to have storylines, do multiple matches. I think this is the lowest that Toni Storm has looked in a long time. That I'm putting all the blame on the horrible booking of the women's division. They make most of the women, most of the roster even, look like they're lower mid-carders. And she's Toni Storm. They brought up Athena being the longest reigning champion in Ring of Honor history. She's nowhere to be found on the shows. The match, I like the figure 4 DDT combo that Mina Shirakawa did to Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Chris Statlander won the match with a pin that Wheeler Yuta uses. I think Julia Hart sold that very well. You had the Triangle Madness attack Chris Statlander afterwards. Toni Storm fought them off. Tekla got involved. Mina Shirakawa got taken out. Jamie Hayter showed up and took them out. Tony then yelled at Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Tekla about wanting a fight, so that sets up All Out. I thought for sure we were going to get a women's Blood and Guts this year. Not the case yet. You had Takeshita pick up the victory over Mark Briscoe. I knew Mark Briscoe was losing this, but I didn't expect for it to be because of MJF. Mark Briscoe, I think, looked incredible in this match, going up against someone who's supposed to be the next big thing in pro wrestling, which I think he can be. But to win because of MJF, I don't like that. And then MJF attacked Mark Briscoe afterwards. Takeshita ripped him off of Mark Briscoe and pushed MJF. I don't think that's going to lead to any, face turn at all, especially because Don Callis is there. But Don Callis got Takeshita to leave. MJF and Mark Briscoe continued the fight, and then MJF challenged Mark Briscoe to choose the time, the place, the stipulation. Mark Briscoe chose All Out, and he said he'll let him know on the stipulation. We should find that out on this week. You had AEW Dynamite taking place. Again, also, this whole residency has been at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, the 2300 Arena. Bryan Danielson is now full-time part of the commentary team and unfortunately did not replace Excalibur. But the opening contest saw Hangman Adam Page, the champion, pick up the victory over Josh Alexander. On Collision, we finally saw something good from Josh Alexander in AEW. Unfortunately, you knew he was going to be losing this match, but Bryan Danielson did such an incredible job putting... first of all, he did a great job on commentary, but putting Josh Alexander over. He mentioned how Josh Alexander thought that when he came to AEW, he would be dominating, and it was Hangman who stopped him. Just like when Bryan Danielson showed up to AEW thinking the same exact way that Josh Alexander thought, and Hangman stopped him. I thought that was really nice to have Bryan Danielson put that over, and quite frankly, I think Bryan Danielson did more for Josh Alexander in that one match than anyone else or anything that he's done in AEW so far. The match was a bit chaotic, but I enjoyed this match. Even with the Don Callis, the Lance Archer, the Rocky Romero distractions and involvement. You take all that out. I thought this was a good opening contest. Hangman spoke afterwards, and he yelled about MJF. He yelled about Don Callis. He said he's there to wrestle, and Kyle Fletcher showed up, asked him about his challenge, and honestly, I think that works negatively for the TNT Championship to, instead of focusing on the championship, you're focusing on the AEW title instead. That title desperately needs to be built back up, and that's unfortunate that they're now focusing on the AEW Championship instead of the TNT title. Hangman told Kyle Fletcher to get in the ring to talk to him, and he said that Kyle Fletcher is full of potential, but he's not ready. I don't know if this was added because of the whole Stevie Richards thing, about Stevie Richards saying that Kyle Fletcher needs NXT. I think a lot of people in AEW need NXT. A lot of them. And it's not like a bad thing or anything. There's potential. A lot of them need to have that potential developed. But this match, I mean, that segment basically sets up a match for the AEW Championship at All Out. Hangman just needs Kyle Fletcher to do it himself and earn it. No Don Callis family, which Kyle Fletcher agreed to. You had the same storyline happen with Ricochet later on, but Ricochet didn't agree. He agreed to it, but, well, Shelton Benjamin agreed to it. It just didn't happen on behalf of Ricochet. I'll get back to that. You had Rio and Alex Windsor pick up the victory over Mercedes Moné and Emi Sakura. I wish there was more storyline set up to this, but God bless AEW for having two women's matches on the same show on a Dynamite with actual story in the matches and setting up for the matches. This could have used a little bit more setup, but we had the story with Rio and Mercedes Moné, so I'm just thankful that they included this. Will it happen again next week? Who knows? But I could do without Rio. The division, I think, has far surpassed her, and she was unfortunately very sloppy in this match. The finish is just completely unbelievable, but it builds up Rio with a submission move against Mercedes Moné, who also uses a submission. You had Ricochet pick up the victory over Shelton Benjamin. I don't really understand why the two heels are feuding, but Ricochet, like I said before, he wanted this match to be one-on-one, no stables ringside, no involvement. Shelton Benjamin agreed to it, and this match was two great athletes wrestling, and there was storyline to it. Give me more of this on television. Ricochet got the scissors out from somewhere. I didn't see where he got them from, but Shelton Benjamin ended up getting them away from Ricochet. He snapped them, threw him out of the ring. The fans weren't happy with that. Bryan Danielson was happy with that. I appreciated that comment from Bryan Danielson. But the Gates of Agony showed up, and Shelton Benjamin got knocked out behind the referee's back. It led to a pull apart afterwards between the two teams. You have that title match coming up at All Out. You had Toni Storm pick up the victory over Sky Blue in a Philadelphia street fight. Toni had a kendo stick signed by Sandman. I thought that was pretty cool. She did the Sandman entrance, too, with the beer can, crushing it over her head. The staple gun stuff I thought was dumb. The mousetrap stuff I thought was dumb. I popped for the electric fly swatter, though. But I don't know if I popped more for that spotter because of Taz not knowing what it was. So I thought that was funny. But Toni Storm did a hip attack into a sign into Sky Blue, and then she hit Storm Zero onto a chair to win the match. I do wish that they did more in the actual match, but most of this I thought was good. You had the Triangle of Madness attack Toni Storm afterwards. Chris Statlander tried to make the save, but she got shut down. Jamie Hayter made the save, and then Chris Statlander came back, but Jamie Hayter accidentally clocked Chris Statlander. And then Tekla was able to spear Toni Storm to end that segment. You had the main event, the Young Bucks and the Death Riders pick up the victory over the Ops and Brodito in a $500,000 10-man tag team match. Before this match was announced, this episode of Dynamite was probably the best looking card for television I've seen in years from AEW. And then when I saw Tony Khan tweet that match, I immediately wished that it was 10:10 p.m. because I can't take these matches anymore. I'm so over these random tag team matches. Truly. And I couldn't care less about this match. There was a shocker victory. The Young Bucks have been doing nothing but winning. Their gimmick doesn't work. All they do is win. And the Death Riders said that they're going to give the Young Bucks, if they were to win, all the money from their part of the match. So the Young Bucks walked out with $500,000. Afterwards, Brodito beat the Young Bucks. They brawled to the back. The Death Riders beat up the Ops. Darby Allin got involved. And then somebody in a hoodie showed up, attacked Darby Allin. It turned out to be Daniel Garcia. He took him out. The Death Riders are super boring, like I said earlier. Wheeler Yuta's beyond boring. And Daniel Garcia is also beyond boring. So them being in the same group is crazy to me. And then you have people are like, oh, this is how you do a heel turn. Better than everything. Daniel Garcia missed the chair stomp to Darby onto the chair and had to redo it. So they're off to a great start. If you take out that main event match, this was a more than fine episode of Dynamite. Give me more of that on TV every week. So that's AEW Dynamite. Hey, Brandon, got any shout-outs?
This is Droopy Dog, and you're listening to Brandon's Shoutouts.
The full second season of Wednesday is now out on Netflix. Did you get past any of that episode since we last spoke?
No, I did not.
I don't know why it needed to be broken into 2 releases a month apart. Especially after it took 3 years for this to come out. Are we going to have to wait 3 more years for season 3, which they did confirm?
It's possible.
Overall, I enjoyed the season. I did feel like it needed a bit more to it. And I will say that the first 4 episodes feel so, like, completely different from the last 4 episodes. So maybe that's why they did split it up. But I would really prefer for them to not do that. I just want to watch. I want to binge. So it's out now, like I said, on Netflix. I enjoyed it. Check it out. It's got the 3rd season coming out, so I would say catch up before you have 3 years, I'm sure. Or 2 years, hopefully. Maybe 1. I don't know. Who knows? It'd be nice if we didn't have to wait 3 years. My next shout-out goes to The Paper. Have you heard anything about this?
No, but I did see that they got like a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes, right?
I don't think it had a perfect score. It's the follow-up and a spin-off series from The Office. It's on Peacock. The full 10 episodes are out. And I can 100%, I can understand why people, they would want nothing to do with this. I think it's a home run. I just spoke about last week with Greg Daniels and how, like, Upload was such a good show. The Office, King of the Hill, Parks and Rec, I can name, like, every series that he's done has been very well made. There are so many small, like, comedic lines packed into these episodes. And I actually laughed out loud throughout most of the episodes. Like, throughout the episodes. Oscar Nunez is the one main cast member from The Office to make it into this show as a main cast member. So I think that's cool that he's on it. It follows the staff of a newspaper in Toledo, Ohio. And I really do hope people check it out. I've seen some reviews that call the show boring. And they said that they didn't laugh at all. Which I don't know how not. Literally the very first scene in this show had me in tears. But I would 100% recommend the paper. I don't know if it's coming back for a second season or what. I really do hope this gets picked up. I wish it was more than 10 episodes. And if you're an Office fan, I feel like there are things in this that you would enjoy. But you also have to understand that it's not The Office. It's a completely different show. It just happens to have Oscar from The Office.
Yeah.
And references to The Office. Just
Yeah, apparently
minimal.
on his desk is something from Michael Scott too.
Yeah, very minimal. Very minimal. So I would say check that out. My last shout out, Mark Volman unfortunately passed away last week at the age of 78. He was a founding member of the Turtles, and later he was half of the duo Flo and Eddie. He did harmony, backing vocals, guitar, percussion for the Turtles all the way up until he passed away. And he and Howard Kaylan were both briefly part of Frank Zappa's band, and they had to use stage names due to a legal dispute. That's where Flo and Eddie came into things. After the Turtles broke up, they couldn't use their real names. Is that like not the most ridiculous thing?
That's bogus.
So there was Flo, which was short for Fluorescent Leech, and then Eddie. And the Turtles, they had their first big hit with a cover of Bob Dylan's It Ain't Me, Babe. But their biggest hit would come a few years after that. You had Happy Together, which I don't know if I knew as a song from them before I knew the commercial for Super Smash Brothers. Do you remember that iconic commercial?
Yeah, of course.
Where they're all frolicking
With all
in
of
the
them
field to Happy
dancing
Together.
through the
And then they start
I remember
meleeing. But
Yeah.
other hits for the Turtles, She'd Rather Be With Me, Eleanor, You Showed Me, I could list on and on. They pushed the boundaries of what pop music could be. And I got to see them on their Happy Together tour in 2016. I really wish I could have seen them more. I listen to their music on loop for hours sometimes. And I wish they were in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you don't know the Turtles, go out and look them up. Listen to them. So those are my shout-outs. Now it's time for
Mark Out Moment of the Week.
That is right, our Mark Out Moment of the Week. I said it last week. I have to make it official. AJ Lee's return on SmackDown, 100%. How could it not be?
Yeah, I would totally agree with you that AJ Lee, that entire return was a mark-out moment. And I think that I'm going to add to it that it wasn't even a mark-out moment for her return. I mean, it was for her return. But in addition to that, it was the reaction of her, like the human reaction of her and CM Punk. Like, looking at CM Punk's reaction to her returning and her reaction as well, you could just see the further human side of them, and it was really nice. So that's definitely a huge mark out moment. I mean, I'm marking out for AJ Styles, the theme song, Get Ready to Fly, being in the WWE 2K.
But we don't know where it fits yet. It was leaked. It was leaked that a retro AJ Styles was added. By the time this airs, it could potentially be part of the pack that comes out tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. But it was an AJ Styles. At first it said AJ Styles 2000 was added, which really wouldn't make sense. And then it came out that it's just AJ Styles Retro. It's from the gear is from, I think it was No Surrender 2009, where he beat Kurt Angle for the TNA Championship. But like you said, it has Get Ready to Fly as his theme song, and I really, really hope that it's easy to unlock, because it's so some of those things in My Faction and The Island are just so, like, they're absolute holes in my head. I can't stand a mode that should be so fan friendly. It's not. And it's just like slap in the face after slap in the face with 2K. It's just Like, even
I don't know. When it comes to things like that in a video game, I kind of like some tasks that have to be done.
I don't
really
mind
difficult.
tasks. These are, you need to pay money for the most part to get it.
Okay, that I don't
Like
agree
right
with.
now in my faction, there's I have to unlock like 5 cards, and those 5 cards I think would cost me at least like maybe $100 if I purchased the VC for it. You can do matches and stuff to earn it, but those matches are far and few in between. Once you're done with the chapters on the island, you're not earning VC anymore unless you have the networks, the lives to actually have matches to earn VC. So it sucks like that. They also added El Grande Americano this week, which replaced the Travis Scott months later in the first DLC pack. I don't think what they gave makes up for missing a release date. They gave him Chad Gable's taunts. Instead of having El Grande Americano say Gracias, it's just Chad Gable's taunts.
That's weird.
Things pile up, and I get so pissed off with 2K.
You got any others?
No. So those are really the mark out moments of the week. That was Marking Out episode 762. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Twitter at Marking Out at BTTG161, Chris Sweendog, CM Sween85, David PTDBT, Facebook.com/Marking Out, YouTube and Instagram Marking Out 11, ProWrestlingTees.com/Marking Out, at Marking Out on TikTok. You can rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, MarkingOut.com, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Have a